Hey, it's Christian from RackNerd. What is a domain? How do you get one? And what does it do? In today's video, we're going to go over exactly that. So let's get into it. A domain can be defined as a string of text that maps to a numeric address used to access a website from client software. Okay. What a pain to say, right? Put simply, it's a string of text that sends you to a specific host. Simpler? Okay, let's say that you put in a URL like youtube.com, and whenever you press enter, it sends you to YouTube's website. There are more moving parts, but that is the gist of it. In fact, there are a lot more moving parts than just that, trust me. So what is the difference between a domain and a URL? Well, a URL contains a domain. For example, youtube.com is the domain. However, whenever you type in youtube.com, whenever you hit enter, you'll notice that it adds some other stuff to it. You'll see that it says something along the lines of https://www. All of that is a URL, and that gets added. What that means is basically the website that you're visiting, because it is HTTPS, that means that it is secure. If it was HTTP, it is on a older version of security and may not be as secure. Whenever a URL shows HTTPS in the beginning of it, what that means is that that website has an SSL certificate. And basically an SSL certificate just says that this website has been encoded, and any data that you have on that website, if you have an account on YouTube or something like that, it is secure. Another difference is that the URL actually accepts pathing. So let's say that you had a YouTube channel, or we could take RackNerd's YouTube channel, for example. While a domain is the youtube.com part, technically it is just the YouTube part because the .com part is an extension, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But what you can do is you can do youtube.com/, and this is called pathing, and then you can type in RackNerd, which will bring you to our YouTube channel specifically. So what does a domain do? Well, a domain lets you see a website. And if you want to have a presence online, your own website, you have to have a domain in order to point people to your website. Whenever you pair a domain with a website, what happens is that it can possibly strengthen your brand. In fact, if you have a presence online, what's going to happen is you're going to get more traffic from places that you would probably not normally get traffic from, which can allow you to get more customers, generate more leads, make more money overall. Having an online presence and your own website is actually extremely beneficial for pretty much any company out there, even small mom and pop shops. So how can you get a domain? Well, the way that you obtain a domain is you have to go through a domain registrar. And what that is a place online that can sell you a domain. An example of a domain registrar is RackNerd. We actually sell domains at RackNerd. Now, one thing to mention is that it is 2022 and the internet is pretty old at this point, so a lot of domains have actually been bought. Now, keep in mind, when I say a lot, I mean quite literally millions of domains have been bought, but there are still a ton left available. So if you are a company, a brand, an entrepreneur, and you need a website, chances are you can still get the website that you want with the domain that you want, or at least something pretty close to the name that you want. Businesses need domains. Individuals who have portfolios that they want to share online or blogs that they want to share online, all of these people need domains. Restaurants are another good example of who needs a domain. You can have your website up and it might have your menu on it, it might have reviews on it, and you could possibly sway somebody to go to your restaurant as opposed to another restaurant. What are domain extensions? A domain extension is something like .com, .biz, .net, .blog, .tv, .me. Whenever it comes down to it, .com is best. If you can get a .com domain, you should absolutely always go for a .com domain. The reason why is because most people are used to typing in .com. Plus .com is by far the most popular out there. So if you can get a .com domain, you should absolutely always go for it. That doesn't mean you have to. There are some good other alternatives out there depending on what you're doing. So to explain a couple of extensions to you guys, .com stands for commercial, .net is network, .org is organization, .info is, well, info obviously, or information, And .me means that it is a personal domain to you. What else can I do with a domain? Well, one of the most common things that you can do with a domain once you buy it is you can actually set up an email address on that domain, which is something that's really nice. And it's a lot more professional. If I send you an email from christian@racnerd.com, it sounds a lot more professional for that company that I'm representing, as opposed to if I have Gmail in there, or Yahoo, or AOL, or something like that. So how much do domains cost? Typically a domain that hasn't ever been claimed costs between $10 and $20. However, they can be a ton. For example, Galaxy.com recently sold for over $400,000. In fact, recently I bought a domain for a solar company that was $9.99. A year later, I was able to sell that domain for $3,500, and all I ever paid was $9.99 for it. So you can make a ton of money off of buying and selling domains, but they also serve a lot of other purposes too. If you're looking to register a domain, consider checking out racnerd.com. Our prices are affordable and we offer 24/7 support. Hopefully this video has answered all of your questions about domains. If you would like more content like this, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel down below and share this video with somebody who you think would want to know about domains. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.